this month was a $180,000 month. It does not make logical sense. And I've made more money this month than I have made entire years when I was hustling and burning myself out. One thing I teach my clients all the time is how I actually make money. Come into my world and I give you everything. Hello, welcome back to Unstoppable Success. Today, I want to actually pull back the curtain. This is a solo episode and I am right now hanging out in LA. I am so excited to chat to you though about making your millions because only 1.9% of women-owned businesses ever crack the seven-figure mark. And this stat honestly breaks my heart because it's not that women are not capable of making millions, but it's because they're stuck in this side hustle energy. It's because they're stuck in a six-figure mindset. And you cannot make seven figures playing in a six-figure mindset. So I want to pull back the curtain on how I'm showing up making moves, even when I'm in Greece running a retreat, jet setting on New York, LA, Miami, all of these things playing out in my business. I want to pull back the curtain on how I actually make money and how you can really tap into your seven-figure mindset, but also strategy as well, because I am on a damn mission to make sure that more women are making their millions in business. So let's get into today's episode. Okay, there are three things you need. So I'm going to take you through each one, but probably the most important one is number one, your energy must match your goal. Because if you're still playing in that six-figure mindset, that six-figure energy, you're not going to make the moves that are going to equal seven figures. It's going to keep you stuck. So do an audit of your life and your business right now and look around and ask yourself, does your reality match your goals? If there is a difference, if there is a gap, then oftentimes we need to look at where are we creating a cap on that. If your goal is to make millions, but no matter what you do, you keep hitting this multi-six figures, but never quite crack the seven figures, then oftentimes there is an energetic misalignment or a subconscious block around why you're not getting there. Because I'm going to be honest, one time when I shifted my mindset, I kept hitting 20K months. No matter what I did, I was changing my business model. I changed my pricing. I changed how I sold. I became more visible. I did all the things that would get you to that seven figures. But every single month without fail, I hit $20,000. And so I started to look inwards, like, why do I keep hitting this same number? Because my strategy is so different every single month. It doesn't make any logical sense. And the thing is, hitting your goals, building a business is not always logical. So when I looked inwards, I realized that there was a fear attached. There was a reservation around holding more money and the pressure that it brought. And when I shifted that belief, the very next month, I had an 80K week. Not even an 80K month, 80K week. And to get to $1 million, you only need to be making around 80K a month. And I didn't change one thing about my strategy. I only changed my internal world. And so this work is really, really powerful. But oftentimes we're sitting in fears. We're sitting in hesitation. When I was in my six-figure mindset, I would tell myself, I don't have time to hire someone because I'm too busy. I would wait to pitch for a certain opportunity because I didn't feel confident enough, or I didn't feel prepared enough, or that I'd had enough practice or enough validation or enough permission to go after that goal. So if you've ever hesitated right before you go after a goal, maybe it is just a level of hesitation. Maybe it's a level of over-preparing, procrastination, or even telling yourself you don't have enough time or enough money, or when this happens, then I will do it. What this actually is fear disguised as logic. And I know it sounds logical. And I know you don't have enough time. I know you don't have enough money. I know you may not be confident. You may not be ready yet. But what if that was just your subconscious holding you back, keeping you safe in your comfort zone? Because chances are the seven-figure version of you is making the moves, is investing in that staff, is making the time because you know where you're going. But it's the version of us who says, I don't know if I'm capable of that holds us back and keeps us stuck in these loops of sitting in our comfort zone and wondering why our reality is not updating, why our reality is not changing. So if you're saying you want more money, more impact, more just of an incredible life, more results, but your actions are still rooted in fear, in scarcity, in capped energy, then you're going to remain stuck. And your subconscious is just like an overbearing mum trying to keep you safe. But if you want to reach that next level, you need to move despite the fear. You need to move even when you don't have the results guaranteed, because the only way to guarantee your results is to move anyway, to invest in yourself before you're ready. I remember the first investment I made in myself for my business was a mentor. It was $50,000 at a time when I didn't even have $10,000. I hadn't even made $10,000 in my business. But what I did was I made the decision from my most successful self, from the version of me who already knew I had all the success. And when I stepped into that version of me, the decision became so clear. That version of me is finding the money. That version of me is making the money. That version of me is finding the time, building the confidence, figuring it out on the way down. Sometimes you have to jump out of the plane before you even know you've got the parachute. And then we just hope for the best and we figure it out on the way down. We create contingency plans, we pivot, we adapt. But while you're stuck in logic, you're never going to be able to step into that next level. And so honestly, this trip that I am on right now is one of those decisions. I booked the plane ticket before I even knew I would have anyone on my podcasts. I booked the studios. I invested in the things that I knew were going to pay off. And when you lead first, then the results actually follow. We wait to feel confident, but until you move and do the thing, how can you actually be confident at it? You can think about it all damn day, but that doesn't build confidence. Confidence follows action. So what bold action have you been sitting on? What bold move, what bold mindset do you need to step into to become your 7-figure self today? What moves would she be making already? And then girl, go out there and damn well do it, because that is the only way we're going to get you there. So your future self is not waiting for you to feel ready. She is waiting for you to damn well move. Okay, so number 2 is how I actually make money, because I think women need to be more transparent about how we make money, and not just talking about income numbers, but breaking down the income streams. How does it happen? Because the more transparent we are around this, the more it shows you, hey, I never thought about monetizing my business this way. Maybe I could add that income stream. Maybe that's a price I could charge. Maybe that is possible for me too. And I remember the first time I heard someone was earning $30,000 in a month, my mind was blown. Like instantly the thoughts came up of, that is wild. That is so wild. Like how on earth is that possible? Because I was so stuck in the 9-to-5 mindset. I was stuck in the 6-figure mindset, being mega wealthy, that I never really thought that that was possible for me. And so this past month, I was in Greece for a week running my life-changing retreat. Then I was in New York, Miami, LA. I've been traveling for a month. And I haven't really opened my computer at all. I have not been hustling. I have not been doing all the things that we think we need to do to make money. Yet this month was a $180,000 month. And my friends who get to travel with me see this firsthand. It does not make logical sense, because we think we have to hustle, push, and just be on all the time or burn ourselves out. And I've made more money this month than I have made entire years when I was hustling and burning myself out. And so notice the thoughts that come up as I'm saying that, because chances are there may be some blocks for you around that. Maybe your brain is saying, she's lying. Maybe your brain is saying, but I don't understand how. Maybe your brain is saying, I get it, but I am still going to hustle. Like, what narratives come up for you? Because chances are those narratives are the things that are blocking your wealth right now. This episode is brought to you by Crazy Domains. I've used them from day one across all 5 of my businesses for my website domains and my emails. They've got everything you need to build and manage your online presence all in one place. Their tools are so simple to use. Their friendly 24/7 customer support actually shows up when you need them. And if you ever need extra guidance, they even offer free consults. So if you're growing your brand online and want to keep things streamlined, check them out at crazydomains.com.au. All right, let's get into today's episode. I had to, once upon a time, believe that I could make the most money when I travel. Then once I'd planted that seed subconsciously, my subconscious started seeking evidence, started looking for ways to make that a reality. When we plant a seed around a belief, your brain will always seek out the information that makes that belief true. So notice the beliefs that you're thinking right now, because if you continue to hold on to them, all you're going to find is evidence that that cannot be for you too. And that's why I love to share numbers and all these insights so you can actually see evidence of it being possible. So my income streams look like, I have my high-level mastermind. This is where my clients get to come out and hang out with me for an entire year. They get close proximity to me where I get my eyes deep on their business. Just this morning, I was reviewing someone's sales page. I was reviewing their sales conversations, helping them make more money in their business. But also I get my eyes deep in their brain. We look at, okay, why is there a block around this? How can I challenge you? How can I activate you? And so I love this space for higher level mentorship. It's really for the women who are ready to go all in their goals, and they know that success is not an overnight feat. It really takes time to build that incredible momentum. So I work with them over 12 months. A lot of my clients have been with me, honestly, for years because they know the value of long-term mentorship. And so I had created this space around 6+ months ago because I wanted to go deep and create a space where women can really play at that higher level. So that's my mastermind. It actually includes in-person events, in-person retreats as well, which I love. And it means that I don't have to hustle nonstop because I want to run the retreat. I want to run the Lux VIP dinner. I want to run all these things. And so having this mastermind where I say, come into my world and I give you everything, including my contacts. You can pitch me, things like that, was really soul-fulfilling because it means I sell it once and I get to impact their lives in so many different touch points, which is really, really cool. And it's pulled me out of having to constantly be selling all of the time. Now, in saying that, I always have my energetic field. My offers are always open. I have different times where I push them more, but if someone wants to buy, they want to buy when they want to buy, not when you decide you're going to launch it. So having offers that people can opt into when they are ready is going to be really, really key. I also have private clients, which I am very, very selective on. And actually I only have 3 at a time because with those clients, they get unlimited access to me Monday to Friday. And I go even deeper with them, which is really, really incredible. And these are the clients who know where they're going and they know they're going to get there a hell of a lot faster with less resistance with that private mentorship as well. They are super, super self-led. That's my highest ticket offer. But then I also have obviously my retreat I just ran in Greece, which is just super fun. And I get to sell that from overflow, which means that I can remove the scarcity on why I'm selling certain things. It's no longer to secure income so I can pay my bills this month. It gets to feel so abundant to create these awesome experiences and opportunities. Then at the lower end, every now and then I will have certain offers around PDF sales guides, which I've actually just created a 7-day sales challenge that literally takes 2 minutes a day that my clients have used to sell out their retreats in 20 days or less with less than 1,000 followers, their first ever retreats. They've used it to sell out their masterminds. And so this PDF, you can get it. I'll put the link in the show notes if you want to grab it because I'm giving 100% of proceeds to charity. It's only $27 as well. So even if you literally do 1 day of the challenge, I can guarantee you'll make the money back and tenfold. So I have guides. I also have free masterclasses available, which I'll also put the link to that in the show notes. I have a free masterclass around the $1 million shift. And if you're listening to this episode, then you probably definitely want to go and listen to that one as well, where I actually break down my client and buyer journey and how you can build out yours as well, so that when you're traveling, people are signing up to your offers. So I'll put those both in the show notes as well. But I like to have different levels to target different kinds of buyers. Buyer journey is not just, let me create a lower priced offer for the people who can't pay for the higher level. My buyer journey is really intentional around what transformation do you need at each stage of interacting with my business and my brand. So that is how I create sales in flow. But the thing is, I didn't create all of this at once. I didn't create this all overnight. I built on it as I went. I have iterated. I have built different offers. I've launched the offer and decided 5 months into a 12-month program, I don't want to run that way anymore. And so I've opted out. I've let go of things that haven't worked. But I think sometimes people get get stuck in launching certain offers. One, because they're not sure if it'll work out, or they're afraid that people won't buy it, or they're afraid to fail with it. The second reason why people don't launch their offers is because they feel like, what if I change my mind? What if I launch this whole thing, make a big song and dance, and then a few months in, I decide this is not the vibe anymore? And I would always say, trust yourself enough to know that you can change your mind. That is what true leadership is. So I didn't create this overnight, and who knows, in a year's time, this may be completely different, but I'm sharing this with you now so you can see how it may apply to you. But the key is not to copy my business model, because it needs to feel super aligned to you. So what I work with my clients on is what their goals are, what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses, and how do we create a business model that truly lights them up, that feels like an extension of them, so they can literally just get paid for being themselves. Okay, so number 3 is the real cost of building a high-end brand, because people talk about income, but then another layer is, what is the actual cost? Like, let's talk numbers around this, because I'm always investing in myself, whether it's investing in my health, whether it's investing in my mindset, or in a podcast studio like this. Every touch point for your brand is so important for how you're perceived, how important it is on your client experience and things like that. Now, I personally run my business super lean because profit is important. A lot of people talk about, cool, I made $1 million, but then they're only left with $50,000 at the end of the year. This year alone, I have doubled my profits. I am making more profit than some businesses making $10 million a year. And so keep that in mind when you are investing. We need to invest from abundance. I don't look at investments from a place of, oh, this is an expense, can I afford it? I say, is this going to help my brand? Is this going to help my mission? And how do I find the money to invest in this? Because when you invest with intention, the ROI will always return tenfold. So I'm always investing in mentorship, because why not get there faster? Why not get there with an easier journey? The other thing I'm investing in is brand experience. So I could record this at home on Zoom, but I decided I'm flying to the USA. I'm paying for hotels. I'm paying for incredible studios. I'm getting to meet these people in person, because one, nothing can replace in-person connection. Nothing can replace the energy that it brings to the podcast episodes. So if I want to make this the best, then you betcha I'm showing up from my 7-figure, multi-8-figure self, and she would be investing in a podcast studio, because why the hell not? It also saves me time. It saves me energy. We have a team here helping out with the tech, the equipment. I haven't lugged a whole bunch of stuff here and set it up in my hotel room and tried to make it as cheap as possible. So I will invest where it's important to invest. Also, travel is not cheap, but I do it intentionally. I actually still fly economy because, to be honest, like sometimes I will fly business, but economy is just fine. Like, of course, business is nicer, but I will use points. Like I flew from Greece to New York for free on points. It probably cost me the same amount of points to fly from Greece to New York than it does from Perth to Sydney. So girl math, it ain't mathing. But anyway, so I use things to leverage where I can, because I'm building true wealth. I'm not trying to build for the Instagram likes. Like I could pay and get a first class cabin. I could pay and get a business class seat every time and just do it for the Instagram stories, but that's not something I necessarily value. So investing from that place is really, really important. Keep in mind profits, but invest where it's important. And the last thing I invest in is team, because no 7-figure business is built solo. So I invest in team. And right now my team looks like my right-hand girl, Chen. She is holding down the fort. She is basically our operations manager. She's doing customer support, tech, online. She's my personal assistant. She books in everything into my calendar so that when I'm traveling and we have changes in podcast guests last minute or we book new ones, she's sending the calendar invites. She's putting travel time into my calendar. She's making sure that I don't have to use my brain as much. And that is invaluable. We also have another assistant who just does very simple admin tasks. We've recently hired an events manager because I'm going to be running more events. She's actually booking in my entire next Australian podcast tour while I've been traveling. And those were all things that I used to micromanage, and as an entrepreneur, we are all a little bit of a control freak. So that is something that I'm still learning to let go of control, but investing in team is so important. And the other person I have is a contractor who sometimes helps out with our podcast social media. I also have another podcast video editor as well. But most of my team are contractors or part-time because I'm a big believer in efficiency over just booking someone out full-time, right? And there's definitely the work for it, but if you can grow lean and efficiently and support your team in that, then you're always going to be so much better off. Now, these investments though are no longer optional. If you want to step into your 7-figure self, it's no longer a nice to have. It is a necessity because the way you invest in yourself signals something to yourself subconsciously around how you show up, around the energy you hold. It signals a sign to your audience around what you're available for, the experience they're going to receive. And that is so important when you're building a 7-figure brand. Brand experience is everything. You can be all flashy on Instagram and then people come into your world and they're like, what is this? It does not match. So really making these investments is key at your next level. And finding someone who has built what you want to build and being in their world, being in the close proximity, because that changes everything. So to recap, number 1, your energy must match your 7-figure self. Number 2, setting up your business model and your income streams to actually allow you to travel the world, to have the lifestyle you want, to have the income and the life-changing impact that you know you're here for is so key. And number 3, the cost of building a 7-figure brand is knowing that these are not expenses. These are investments in where you are going. So here's your question. What is one bold move that your future self is begging you to make? You probably already know what it is. You don't need more information. You don't need more strategies. You probably just need to buckle down and make that first step. Like one thing I teach my clients all the time is how can we reduce the energy that we allow something to take up? How can we make it feel more easeful, more flowy, reduce the overwhelm, reduce the overthinking? And usually the first step to reducing that energetic capacity is do the damn thing. Because once you've done it, you'll realize, oh, that wasn't so hard. That wasn't so bad. Now you've gained another notch in your belt, a little bit more confidence, a little bit more experience. And every time you do that, it becomes so much easier. So please stop waiting for the confidence. Stop waiting for more time. Stop waiting for the right permission slip. Because the 1.9%, the 7-figure earners, they don't wait for more confidence. They move and lead themselves first. So girl, go out there and make it happen.